I'm going to help you answer the question, do you or are you someone who knows a narcissist? You ever thought about this? Has this been someone you know that's dating a narcissist? Because we're going to cover that in tonight's show. And let's kick it off. Welcome. Hey, I'm Jay from JMC, your relationship coach here tonight to answer your relationship questions. And this is Ask Jay. Welcome to the first of 2020 of Ask Jay. Yes, we used to do this quite a few years ago, and due to an overwhelming response, we're bringing it back. So thank you. If you're the first one here or have never watched this before, be sure to put it in the comments. Say hi, say you're new if you've never watched it, and if you have any questions, by all means, definitely send us a question through. And we've already got people watching. Isabel, thank you for joining. How are you? Thank you for watching. Yeah, we've got a few people on tonight, and as I was saying, we are going to talk about narcissists. Now, this seems to be the in thing right now. Well, I shouldn't say the in thing, but the amount of people I come across, and it's not just women coming across male narcissists. It's also, tonight's question is about a female, that a male that is dating a female who thinks that she may be a narcissist. So we're going to get into that in a few moments. But first thing first, I'm Jayson Mair, as you can see by this side down here. The socials are down there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Click the little bell button. So if you like the show, we will be here every Wednesday night. I'll say Wednesday because depending on where you are in the world, it could be Wednesday morning, it could be Wednesday day, like Isabel is watching, or it could be Wednesday night if you're in Australia. So by all means, this time, every Wednesday, you'll be able to tune in and watch the show. Welcome, Louis. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying hello. How are you, buddy? Look at this. I can do this now, but see, it goes over the top, so I'm working this out, okay? So let me just, let's get rid of, we're getting there. We're sorting this out, people. We're sorting this out. A few technical difficulties, but we're getting rid of it. So there's Isabel. We have also the comments we want. We got Louis. Good to see you as well. Thank you very much. Good morning, Sandy. And I say good morning because Sandy, it's going to be extremely early for her. So it's, I think in Kansas, what do we got? 4 a.m. in the morning, if I'm correct. So thank you very much for tuning in. I look to the right because I actually have a list of the times on when people, which country they're in, what time it is. So I get to know you guys a little bit more too and understand where you're coming from, literally in the world. So thank you for being here that early in the morning, Sandy. I really appreciate it. So, and one tip you should never do is have your phone on while you're on live. Not a good thing at all. We're learning. We learn these things. So definitely for coming in. So we've got people on YouTube and Facebook. So the comments are coming through. So thank you very much for tuning in, as I've said already. So tonight, narcissists. We all seem to have either known one, dated one, or we know of someone who has or is dating one. And to be honest, this week alone, and it is only Wednesday, so I'm talking from, look, I'll include the weekend. From, say, Saturday to now, I have spoken to 5 or 6 people that know someone who they think is a narcissist. Now, I'll say know someone they think is a narcissist because, yes, they have said that, but I don't like to assume. I'm going to go and by their behaviors. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read the question out in a moment, and we're going to go through some different advice that is around. Not different advice. There's a lot of different things that will alert you to being a narcissist. So let's because there are some people, including the person tonight that sent the question in, that is not quite sure. And even when you Google it, there's a lot of things that tell you that they're a narcissist, but it doesn't necessarily mean one of those things makes them a narcissist. But when you see like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of them, then you start to put the pieces together. Am I right? If you know someone or know of someone that may be a narcissist, put it in the comments. You don't have to name names. We don't want to, get anyone in trouble here tonight because, we don't want to do that. So let's get straight into the question. Whoops, let's get that out of the way. What do we got here? Okay, wrong banner. All right, here we go. Right at the top. We're still getting the hang of this. Let's get into this. So here we are for tonight's question. Okay, I've been with my partner for nearly 2 years, but have struggled through and don't feel I can be myself and don't see my friends and family much anymore. We made a typing error though. I heard somewhere about narcissists and how they control their partners, but I love her very much and not sure if she is or not. What do you think? And that's from Stacy. Now, when you see that, it means I like to protect the innocent by not using their name. So we're just going to pick random names for these people. And the majority in my experience, and thank you, Stacy, if you're watching this either live or on the replay, thank you for sending it in and asking the question. We had a few questions to choose from tonight, but this is the main one I wanted to go because it's just this week. Seriously, I've had men, women, Australia, UK, the US that have actually said that they've either know a narcissist or have dated one and got out of a relationship from one. And also, look, this is not just even in relationships, in personal relationships, but I even had one in particular who told me that his boss is a narcissist, and during COVID has decided to make some changes to the business and manipulate this person into, without them knowing, that they are virtually going to be handing over the business to the new people, but with only 2 weeks time to do it because we're currently in lockdown, and when they get out there, so it happens in all sorts of areas. So Stacey's obviously talking about her partner, and at the same time, my experience is it's mostly and more a majority. What's wrong with my mouth tonight? Is a majority of males that are narcissists, and that can be really scary because it can be a little just a little males are a little bit more come across a little bit stronger and can be a little bit more scary. But the thing with a narcissist, what a lot of people don't realize, is they play it cool, they play it smart, and you don't necessarily know a lot of times that they are a narcissist. You think, this person's really nice. And look, that's a brief description of Stacey's email that she sent through to me. It is quite long, so I've put just the basics in there without having to go into detail because we didn't need to. But a lot of the times, my experience when I speak to people that go through this, they actually feel like that, oh no, this person would never do that. That they're good people. They wouldn't be like that. And it's over time that it is slowly done. So what I'm going to do, I have gone over to Mr. Google. And the reason being because there's a couple of, I want to be really precise with what I want to discuss tonight when it comes to narcissists, because I want people to really know what is the main story, the main reason behind narcissists, and some examples of what narcissists are like as well, sort of thing. So, and I've just realized that my yeah, hang on a sec, hang on. I had something up to read to you, and it's just disappeared from my screen. So give me a moment. Where are we? Okay, this is not good. Oh, don't you love technology? I think I've accidentally shut it down. So I am going to just give me a moment. Give me a moment because I had it up here. Where are we? I'm going to do what I had before. Yes, these things that we all right, let's get this up and going. Okay. All right. Now, if you Google narcissist, you'll get a couple of different descriptions of a narcissist and what they are. This is Mr. Google's definition of a narcissist. It is a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. Now, the reason why I chose this one, because a lot of times people go, oh, God, I know a lot of people that have got a lot of self-importance and so forth and think that they're, the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it's a lot deeper than that, a true narcissist. So as you can see here, well, you can't, but I can. A narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men. The cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, disregard for other feelings, and an inability to handle any criticism and a sense of entitlement. This disorder needs to be diagnosed by a professional, and treatment involves talk therapy. Now, you look at that and go, well, I know a lot of people like that. It doesn't necessarily mean they're narcissists. Now, what I've done also is I've gone into, and this is the best place if you want to look more at narcissistic behavior, any behaviors really. One of the biggest things with a lot of behaviors is it's the psychology of the person. Now, that description describes, where it stems from and so forth, that it could be a genetic and also it can be an environmental thing. When they say that, what they mean is, in simple terms, if you're a narcissist, you've quite possibly, picked that up as a learned behavior from quite possibly a parent or parents or a sibling or someone you looked up to when you were young. There are a lot of people, I know a lot of people that, years on, it's as they're getting on to their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, that they realize that their mother or father was a narcissist. Because they just thought, oh, well, that's how he is. Because you've got to remember, if you've got a parent that is behaving a certain way, they can be a narcissistic, they can be an alcoholic, they can be a bipolar, whatever it is. When you're born with, there is certain genetic knowledge that a lot of research is saying these days. But at the same time, what happens is in psychology terms, between the ages of 0 and 7 is the manual of your life. So you know nothing. That's where everything you take in is done between those years. Then, by psychology terms, it is between 7 and 13. I say 15 because I know most 15s, when we're 15-year-old, we think we freaking know it all, and we move out and we want to do everything and take on the world, and we find that we're not that strong. But what we have done is we've put all that knowledge that we've learned between 0 and 7 into practice to see what works for us and doesn't work for us. Now, if you've grown up in a situation where your parents are a particular behavior or parent, that's all you know. You think that's it is. That is your norm. So it isn't until you go through stages of life where you think, oh, geez, is that normal? I see other friends and family and they do this, but I look at my parent, whoever it is, and think, oh, they're a bit nasty, aren't they? Or they're a bit full on, or, and I'm just think, okay, maybe that's just discipline. It's discipline. They had to go at me. They keep, holding me back or straining me down and telling me that I need to, pull my head in or I need to do something. And you think, okay, that's fair enough. But then you find when you confront them, then it starts to actually really start to, you sort of think, okay, this is this person's behavior, but the other people don't behave like that. So is it just he's very or she's very strict and these people are not, or what? And you start to sort of question, you get through your teens, you're busy finding yourself, you get through your 20s and that. But the other sad fact is, and we all know someone, or we may have done it ourselves, where we go through quite a few relationships, intimate relationships. And look, for example, a lot of women, people, it's been said that a lot of women will date people that remind them of their fathers. So if your father is a particular behavior, say a narcissist, you're going to be attracted to that because you think, okay, that's how it is. I grew up knowing that. I admire that. I like that. Especially if your father is, didn't love you or you weren't close to your father and you go for that because you're looking to get into, you're looking for that love because that's what you spent all your life trying to get. And then you get into it with somebody else. And the problem is then you start attracting these people and you're thinking, why am I always around these people that are either alcoholic or in drugs or liars or narcissists or behave in a narcissistic, and you don't even still know that they're narcissists. You think that they are just a bit controlling, or because the thing with a lot of narcissists too is when they come into your life, you think, oh, wow, they're very charismatic. They're very sweet. They're very, caring and they're comforting. And you're like, oh, I like this. This person's very nice. I relate to them. They're very, caring and, they're, oh, no, well, let me drive and everything else. And you think, okay. And you can sort of question and go, well, I can drive myself or I can do this myself, but that's nice to have someone do that. But then what happens is you then start to realize that things in your life are starting to change. You start to realize that you don't see your friends very often. You don't see your family very often. Now, one of the things you'll see that was in the question that I just put up there for Stacey, she says in this part here, is it this one? No, I think it's the first part of the question. Yeah, she doesn't see her friends and family much anymore. Now, I've shortened that down. But what she says there is also, when she says that, she also says that over time, he would say, she would say things because they're obviously a female couple. She would say, a friend would say, oh, what do you need to do? What do you need to see them for? Oh, I can help you with that. And I help you with that. And again, you think, okay, all right. Oh, yeah, okay, you can do that. But it then gets to a point where you get busy with work, you get busy with doing your things at home and spending time with them, especially in the early times where you're getting to know them and they're so charming. They're like, oh, I just want to do whatever you want. I want to do it all for you. I'm with you. I don't want to do that. Now, I've said it myself, but I don't say it that you can't ask your parents and you can't, because there's a difference between, and this is where between a charmer and a narcissist, because what they're trying to do is to have you in their lives and have it's virtually control over you, they need to eliminate other people because they need you to feel like you're their world. You know, you look at them and go, oh, you're amazing. I mean, God, we all have someone we've love, right now that we really care about and stuff, but we're not going to stop them from their family and friends and stop them from going to work and contacting people and stuff like that. But this is what happens. Now, just to give you a couple of extra tips, I've gone to, which is where I get a lot of really good content from. And when I was saying before, it's a bit psychological when it comes to narcissistic behavior and a lot of behaviors. You can always go to psychologytoday.com, which I've pulled up and there is a great article by a woman by Carol McBride, PhD, and she writes a little article called "Is Your Partner a Narcissist? Here are 50 ways to tell." Now, there are 50 ways, and I'll tell you now, you look at most of them and go, right, I do that, or I know someone who does that, but it's not the one thing. It is multiple things. Like, if you go to scroll down through her, and she's got a book if you're interested in it, and I don't mind, saying my sources. This is a checklist that comes from her book, Will I Ever Be Free of You? How to Navigate a High Conflict Divorce from a Narcissist and Heal Your Family. And it's actually a really good read. And look, she goes through things like, when something goes wrong, does your partner blame everyone else but themselves? Does your partner refuse to be accountable for his or her bad behavior? For example, you made me so mad that I just could, you made me do that. You made me punch that wall, or you made me, whatever, that sort of stuff. Is your partner unable to tune into your feelings or your children's feelings? You scroll down. Does your partner seem unwilling to listen to you and hear your concerns? Now, these things don't all happen at the start, because if they happen at the start, you'd be like, whoa, dude, you need to take a step back. You get a little bit too much. It's a slow process. They need to win you in. They need to charm you in. Now, Stacey's been with her partner for 2 years, and again, without going into too much detail, a lot of things she says it involves, she talks about little behaviors. Well, it does this and does that. I've seen this before and everything else, sort of thing. And you sort of think, okay. So where is the mouse? Okay. And thank you to all those that have quickly jumped in while I've been talking. Kenny Robinson, Rosie, Tanya, Carl, Kathleen. So good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Does your partner never ask about you, your day, and your feelings, even in passing? Now, look, again, that is one thing that sometimes your partner might get home and they're tired and they don't say it. But as I said, it's not one of these things. It's a number of things, so you've got to look at it. Does your partner manipulate you? Now, that is a big one. And the way narcissists do it, they don't do it like it's a manipulation, because they don't want you to realize they're manipulating. They want to get you to do it in a way that you feel like sometimes it's your idea. They'll go, oh, I don't know. You ever thought about doing this or this or that? And you go, oh, well, yeah, we could do that. And they're like, okay, let's do that. And you think, oh, that's a wonderful idea. This is where manipulation comes into it. And this is what that questionnaire, does your partner manipulate you? That is a thing that you will not realize straight off. But when you look at things and you start to see things and think, is that a coincidence? Is it? No, they wouldn't do that, would they? Oh, that's not the first time that's happened. It's not the second or third time that's happened either. This is where, when the penny drops, like people say, when the red flags come up, sometimes they're not always red flags. The term when the penny drops, it doesn't necessarily need to be a big, sometimes it's just a little drop, but it drops enough a few times that the little tiny drops get a little bit, and you're like, Now, it's not saying that you're always going to be on the lookout and think that everyone's a narcissist and everything else. But what it is when you start to feel that you're not able to make decisions for yourself, or you make decisions that didn't come from them, but it was your idea, and they shoot down. This is where it is. It's when you come up with ideas and they shoot it down, but they don't shoot it down like, what a stupid idea. Eventually, they get to that. But at the start, they go, oh, yeah, well, maybe. Well, let's think about it. How about we think about it? We discuss it later and stuff like that. It delays it. And they think, well, you'll forget about it and I'll have you a little bit more. Because the idea of a narcissist, and as I touched on it before on the other, where are we? Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. When I read that definition of narcissist before, I said, whereas personality qualities include thinking very highly of oneself, needing admiration, believing others are inferior and lacking empathy for others. Now, the reason why they say that, and the reason why that's a big thing, is because that's what they need. They're lacking a lot of something in themselves. They're lacking self-love. They're lacking, there are some of the really, like if you look into a lot of research, some of the hardcore narcissists, they've come from a very vile, nasty background, like not something you and I want to put through. And you think, no, that's okay. They need some love. But that's what they want you to think. They want you. You have to constantly give them praise and love. And if you don't, they're going to do things to get it. They'll all of a sudden, do something massive for you. You're like, oh, well, that's so sweet. And you think, okay. But then, and if they feel like they're losing you, that's when they'll start pulling things out and they'll start doing things. And then they wheel you back in like a fish. Well, we'll let it out a little bit. Well, that's too far. Let's bring it back in. Let's get it back in and we can, control it from there, sort of thing. And most of the clients I've worked with, they will say that, even talking to their friends and family on the phone, who's that? Oh, really? Yeah, well, I need you out here. So can you come and help me with that? Yeah, but no, I need you to come now. It's really urgent. Or they'll walk out and go, babe, can you come now? Quickly. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, look, I've got to go. And you think, and then you get there and it's nothing much. And you think, why does that happen all the time? I had one client who used to say that whenever, even if they're thinking, they're putting shoes on, where are you going? Oh, I'm just going to go for a walk. Oh, I'll come with you. Oh, no, I'm just going to go for no, I want to come for a walk. No, it's okay. I'm just going to go for a walk. I might talk to mum on the phone. Oh, I'm coming for a walk. Oh, okay. Yep. All right. Don't you think that's a bit weird? Because you really need to have some time, because they're threatened. They're threatened that if you start talking to someone else who could all of a sudden even mention the N word and put that in your head, you're going to, because what happens when they do start to think that people are interfering, that's when they start to, the claws come out. Not like Wolverine claws, but, they do come out and they will really, get quite nasty. There are some that get really nasty. Some of them will also just down and out do stuff to you or in front of you or to you in front of others, but in a nice way. But they're like, why are you being like that? And they're like, well, no, I'm not being like anything. What So if you, like I said, you can go check this list. Sorry, you can go check this list out on psychology.com, psychologytoday.com, and just type in narcissist, and or you can look up the lady's name, Carol, Karyl McBride, PhD. There are some really great, like it's 50. There's 50 lists. She's gone into great detail about a lot of them. Does your partner tell different people different stories about the same event, spinning the story so that he or she looks good? When your partner talks about his or her kids, is it about what the kids do rather than who they are? Again, a lot of these, like I said, when I first read it, I went, oh, I don't know. But then as I read through the book, it's multiples. You can have one or two from most people. Most people, will have a day where, they forget to ask you something because they come home from work and they're stressed or whatever else. Or they just go, oh, do you need to talk to your mum tonight? She's really just, does your partner mistrust everyone? There's another one. And again, you won't necessarily know that they're mistrusting. They're just like, you sure about that? And then when they start to realize someone's interfering, that's when they start to pull a few tricks. Has your partner spent minimal time with the children? Does your partner typically skip the children's events if he or she does not have an interest in that particular activity or does not value it? Have others in your life said that something is different or strange about your partner? Does your partner seem to have no value system, no fixed idea or right or wrong to his or her behavior? So this list is quite thorough. Have you consistently questioned if your partner loves you? And sometimes they won't even give you a straight answer. Look, there's that page there, and there's also, where else? I had another one up here that had some really good. Okay, this one here. Now, there's narcissist, and then there's also a breakdown of quite a few different types of narcissists. So this is an article that is on a website called wellandgood.com/types of narcissist. And they talk about avoiding all 6 types of narcissists, but also mental health. But mental health pros say one type is especially damaging. So what they're doing is they're breaking it down to the type of narcissist. So there's not just one. So for example, you got the toxic narcissist, you got the psychopathic narcissist. Now that's pretty obvious. It's a psychopathic. A psychopathic is an unstable, aggressive person, and these traits also show up in a psychopathic narcissistic way. Psychopathic narcissist, which is the type of a toxic narcissist, will often be violent and show no remorse for their behavior. A lot of serial killers become narcissists, as one of the doctors says here. So the closet narcissist, the one that can be trickier to spot than other types of narcissists because that person isn't always obvious about their disorder. I think also there are quite a decent amount of narcissists who really don't realize they're narcissists. I will get to your comments too soon, guys, and just give me a few minutes and I'll jump in and go through the comments with you. But I just wanted to get through the core of this for a thing. So, as I said, a closet narcissist is one who doesn't inflict their personality upon others or society, but firmly believes in the characteristics of narcissism, says Dr. Mair, that they can mean a host of things, including feeling entitled, constantly needing other people to admire them, be preoccupied with success, being jealous of others, and lacking empathy for others. So you've got the exhibitionist narcissist. The narcissist is on the opposite end of the narcissism spectrum from the closet narcissist. So you've got the closet who's just very quiet, he's like, and then the exhibitionist. This is a narcissist who lets everyone around them know that they are narcissistic, says Dr. Mair, adding that this person takes advantage of other people and is often haughty and arrogant. They also blatant about their self-centered behavior. Any of these behaviors coming up for any of you guys? I will get to check your comments in a moment. But if you've recognized some of these behaviors in a partner, ex-partner, someone, but you don't have to give details, but if you recognize it or have experienced it, by all means, put it in there and we'll go through it and have a look. The bullying narcissist. This person combines 2 terrible traits, bullying and self-absorption. Bullying narcissists build themselves up by trashing other people. They're often fixated on winning and will mock or threaten others to get their way. God, that sounds like a kid that I went to school with that was a bully of mine. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen him since, and he still doesn't look like he's changed much at all. They ultimately get joy from making other people feel bad, small, or unworthy. This is, For those of you watching the political debate today in the US, you think that you may have seen one in that debate? Do you think? I don't know. Just saying, not mentioning any names, not being critical of anyone, because I know some of you have very strong opinions about the US elections and stuff, so I'm not being critical, but I'm just saying. You listen to this person combines two terrible traits, bullying and self-absorbing. Bullying narcissists build themselves up by trashing other people, Dr. Mair says. They're often fixated on winning and will mock or threaten others to get their way. They ultimately get joy from making other people feel bad, small, or unworthy. This is different from a regular bully who tends to put people down for social gain, where bullying narcissists does it for personal motivation. Not saying. And then you've also got the seducer narcissist. And I think this is I don't know if this, I'm going to read it out, but the title, and I've read this before, but the title says to me there are a lot of narcissists. They're a little bit seductive. You know, they want to just wheel you in. They want to be sweet talk you. They're like, oh. And even from some of the other research I've done before, and also some of it I come across today, will say that a narcissist will pick their victim. It's like they know, it's like they sense that they're looking for someone who, they certainly won't go for anyone that's very confident or is strong or opinionated. No. They want someone that's below them. They want someone that may have a low or no self-esteem. That's the easiest one. They're like, oh, look at this one. Oh my God. Look at him. Oh, I could wind him in and eat him alive, and he'd be my little toy. Oh, look at her. Look at her. You know, she's hiding under a fringe. She's, got her head down. She's not looking, too crap about. I'll go and make her feel good. And then when I make her feel good, I'll just wheel her into my little seductive playbook, and then I have them. It's a bit sadistic, isn't it? So the seducer narcissist is a particularly tricky type of narcissist. The seducer will make you feel great about yourself just to win you over as a sexual or a love conquest. Dr. Mair says they will often seem to admire or fawn over you only to write you off once they no longer have use for you. Think Regina George. Ultimately, it's not great to have any kind of narcissist in your life. And if you can help it, Dora says, but since the toxic narcissist is actually dangerous to be around, this is the one to avoid at all costs. They can be abusive, Dr. Bash says. Other kinds of narcissists aren't going to go out of their way to hurt somebody. They are just obsessed with themselves, but a toxic narcissist may actually hurt someone, literally, like physically, mentally, and as I said before, can similar to the psychotic. Was it the psychotic? Where is it? Yeah, psychopathic narcissist. As I said, it says here by Dr. Mair, serial killers largely make up this type of narcissist. So there'd be a very fine line at times between the psychopathic and the toxic. And you've got to be careful, because maybe the toxic is gone from another narcissist to that level and is leading to something more. And you get out and you survive. Great. You see someone else in that same position, please give them a heads up, because the only way narcissists are going to learn is if it's really like they can't manipulate anyone. And that's hard. You're going to have to stop someone from seeing every single person and falling for it. And unless you put them on a list and say, narcissist, if you've been with a narcissist, put on a list, it's impossible. You can't do that, because you might not read it right. It might be a particular thing they're going through. So yeah, it's a very dangerous thing. So Stacey, based on what I've said tonight, I hope that's helped you. I usually give 3 tips, but because it's something that I've even spoken to 6 people about this week alone, and it's only Wednesday. I thought it is better if I explain these. And, usually I go on the fly. But with something like this, I want you to really think about these things that I've explained tonight, because there are people I've spoken to where they've discovered, like, as I said, later in life, that, they've got a parent that was a narcissist. So you think, oh, well, that parent is this and that. But then you find that half the people you've been dating are like that parent. You think, oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. 2 and 2 goes together now. Okay. We're getting somewhere now. So just keep that in mind. I hope it's helped, Stacey. If we have emailed before, but back and forward, but I will continue to be there for you. And if you have any questions, by all means, send them through. And the same for any of you that are watching tonight. If you're not quite sure, I can send the links. Like I said, that one that had the 6 lists, the list of the 6 types of narcissists, that is on a website called Well and Good, WELLAND good.com/types of narcissist. And the other one was on psychologisttoday.com, which has got some fantastic articles. If you really, you can go Google this stuff, and there are so many different things. But sometimes going to a page like psychologisttoday.com, you're going straight to the source. You're going to people that are there, they've got PhDs, they're doctors, they're psychologists, and they've got some really good information that can really sort of clarify things. And if you don't want to do that, call me. I'll see what I can do to help, because that's what I'm here to do. So let me just jump in and have a look at some of these comments, because we've got a few coming through right now, and I'd like to acknowledge you guys for being in here, because you've all taken the time out to watch, sort of thing. So okay, we've got Kenny saying good day from earlier on. Go Jay. Thanks, Kenny. Love your work, buddy. Rosie, great to see you live. Thank you very much. Kenny, when you have lost your temper and your partner won't talk to you, what should you do? Good question, bud. Good question. For me, if I'm going to offer some advice, I would say walk away. They've lost your temper, get out of the room, get out of the way. Don't even engage, because the more you try to engage, depending on now if they're a narcissist, holy Jesus, you're in trouble. But if someone is having an issue and it gets to an argument, it never goes well if you continue it, because you end up trying to talk over to them, or you're trying to say your part and they talk over you, and they're trying to say their part. It doesn't work. When it starts to get heated, you've got to, I think, between a couple, you would try and have a bit of a code word, like a timeout, or okay, this is not let's stop. This is not going anywhere. Let's take a break. Let's take a 5 to 15-minute break. I just need to go outside, get a breath of fresh air. Go out. Just even if they're arguing you and it's not you going off at them and they've got the temper, do it, because what's going to happen if you don't, it's going to upset you. And then if they continue to follow you, and then things are going to be said that are going to be hurtful, and they're not going to be meant sometimes. Or they're going to be something that's going to be said that is meant to be said, but they've never wanted to say it. But the other person with their temper keeps at it and at it and at it, and they'll snap. And they will say the wrong thing. And then once it's said, you can knock a vase off a bench. Now, you can pick that, if that was a vase, of course, and you can glue that sucker together with all the super glue you like. But it's already been broken, and you can always see the cracks. And the only way you can heal those cracks is you need to get to the bottom of what's going on. Because a lot of the times there's little arguments, and I'm going a bit off from the narcissist, but this can relate to some of them as well. A lot of little arguments are like little, subtitles. There's a major title underneath. It's like an iceberg, the iceberg, you've got all these little peaks, and all these little peaks are all the little things that you're arguing about and complaining about and everything else. But there's a big issue right under the water, and it's not getting addressed. So trying to get some time out, Kenny. Try to time out, take a break. If you're not getting your message across, I would suggest maybe sitting down and typing it out in an email. What I usually do with a lot of my clients, which has been fantastic, I've never had one say it's never worked, except for they wouldn't read it. And there was a bigger issue going on why their partner wouldn't read it. But sit down, open the computer, type it all out, blah, 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 type it all out, and then shut it. Don't send it. Shut it. Leave it for 24 to 48 hours. And then when you're calm, open it back up. Have a look what you wrote. Don't delete it. Don't delete it. No. I want you to read it. You still need to get, if there is truth in there, you need to get that across to the other person, but just reword it. Just reword it so it's a little bit more, look, this is what we're dealing. This is what I've come across, and this is how I was feeling. And I thought the best way I could do it was put it in an email. You can read it when you're in a nice mood and you're feeling good, and then you can sort of just see it from my point of view. That's it, and then send it. Or sometimes you just need to get it all out. If it's not the right thing to say at the time, get it all out, leave it in the email, leave it in your drafts, and keep it there. Hopefully that helps, Kenny. Okay, what do we got? Are there any telltale signs of narcissist? Well, I think we covered that, didn't we? Because some of these questions were me for a little while. Yep, we got that one. Let's scroll up a little bit. Tanya, thanks. Well, me at the moment. Oh, really? Has this helped, Tanya? Because when you say, wow, me, are you meaning you're the narcissist or you're in a relationship with a narcissist? Because if that is the case, I hope this has helped. Please, look, if there's any questions you have in regards to narcissists tonight, ask them now, because we're here. This is what I'm here to do. Each week I'm going to answer a question, and I'm going to try and go into a bit of detail. So, because it's not just one person. As I said, this one person has sent me the email. But I've had 6 people today, this week, halfway through a week on a Wednesday, tell me a story about a narcissist in their life. And hey, I'm in lockdown, so I've probably only spoken to about 12 people, and 6 of them are telling me there's not. So it's at least a 50% chance, that you might have that. So if you are going through that, Tanya, by all means, drop a question in here, or if you want to talk afterwards, DM me. The details you can see are scrolling along the bottom. Where are we? Yeah, along the bottom there, you'll see my email. But I think you've got my details anyway, because we've spoken before. So if I can help, or even just want to chat about it, please drop us a line. So, Carl, hey, bro, thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. I really appreciate it. Rosie, Ken, what I think she means, what do you do? I think she means not what to do. I don't know what you're saying, Rosie. What are you saying there? Kathleen, yes. Well, why? I'd say why is yes. Or are you asking why? I think you mean yes. Yes. Very true. Yeah. No, well, you and I have spoken, so yeah, it is very true. Yes, it is. Joanne, not going to say his name, but not have a point. Just saying. Thanks for tuning in, Joe. Tanya, apparently he has to have sex for me to love him, and then I'm no good for him. Tanya. I'm sorry, babe. I'm really sorry to hear that. I really am. We need to talk. I don't, you can't do that. You can't be going through that. You're a better person than that. You are. No one does. And we're talking about narcissist. I can't even think of someone I hate going date a narcissist. Probably another narcissist. That would be fun. Stick 2 narcissists together and see who's going to win. That'd be a nasty, nasty thing to see. But look, the thing I will add to it as well is, and look, the majority of you guys that are watching, you're all, at a mature age. I'm not saying you're all 70 and 80 sort of thing, but, we're not teenagers or in our 20s anymore. And no offense to those younger ones that are. But when you get to like 30, 40, 50 plus, you're an adult, you know? And as an adult, you have responsibilities. Now, a narcissist will try to make it that the responsibilities are all you're doing. You made me drive into that tree. You made me spill my coffee. I wasn't even in the house. You still made me because you made me friggin' angry and I was pissed about you and I was thinking about you and I spilled my friggin' coffee. That was your fault. You're like, okay. But you're not going to do that because then they'll flip out. We can't. No, what I'm about to say, there's an exception. I usually say we can't control others except if you're a narcissist. Because you've tried and you've spent your life doing it. And honestly, there are narcissists out there who don't even know they're doing it. They do not know. You say narcissist and they go, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. And I tell you now, they've probably looked it up and they've started to read it and gone, no, and shut it down because they don't want to know it. They don't want to admit it. But if you're in a relationship with one, and hey, look, a few of you I've had conversations with, and I know it's not easy to get out, but what you do have to do is you need to start to think about a way out and not let them know. It's not easy, but you have to, because if they catch wind of it, they then start to find ways to block you. If they pick up on something and go, something's not right, they're going to try and block you. They'll, you know, you broke your phone. What happened to your phone? Or you'll pick your phone up and it's broken. I've had 2-3 clients where they've gone to get their phone and their phone's completely smashed. And they're like, they just put it on the bench. I don't know. I must have dropped it. But it's dropped so hard that it's completely smashed. Not the screen smashed. The whole phone is like, when they took it to repair the phone, they went, did you run over in a car? And one of them had security footage and happened to see their partner smashing it with the heel of their shoe. And then they just brushed it over under the table like they didn't see it. Not a good thing, is it? So when I say we're adults and we need to take responsibility, the responsibility is do your research. Go through those sites I just told you. Listen to what I say. If you want to replay this video at the end of it, by all means, replay this video. And ask yourself, is this really, 2 things, ask yourself, do you really want to continue this? Because I tell you now, the longer you're with them, the harder it will be to get out. I promise you, it's sad. There are people I've spoken to today, and maybe or maybe not, there are people that are watching that, you know, have got out but have struggled. They struggled to get it, but they got out. If you're watching this replay, I guarantee you there's going to be half a dozen people that are going to watch this and go, oh, yeah, this is, I'm seeing it now. I really need to think of something. And if you can't get out, or you want to speak to someone, maybe just DM me. Just say, do you know someone I can talk to that went through that, got out? Maybe I can hook you up with just talking to someone online or something and just say, look, have a chat to them if they're willing to talk about it, and they may be able to help you. I can help you only so much. I may be able to get someone who's got through that and just explain what they went through. Or my Simplified Relationships show. And if you guys are not aware of it, I'm going to quickly go off track. This happens twice a week now. You've got me here Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. And you've also got me Sunday nights at 8 p.m., which we started last Sunday, but I didn't broadcast it to everyone because that's the Simplified Relationship show. So we just generally talk relationships. I'm not answering a particular question. We're talking general relationships, and we're going to have people that are going to come in. So maybe I might be able to get someone in who's been through that, who's willing to have a chat. So if you're willing to have a chat about how you got through it, you don't have to go into a lot of detail. We will just ask basic questions. but to help others that are going through that if you would like. You don't have to. Maybe I could cover your face up and we'll just use your voice and name you Charlene or something like that sort of thing. But if we can help you guys and girls, by all means, please. You're not alone. This is not like a one or two off event. There is a lot of them out there. And it seems to be the rage, which is ridiculous. I mean, in the last 2 years, I've worked with people, like multiple people that have been in narcissistic relationships. I could probably name 20 people off the top of my head right now that have been through it. I won't to protect their identity, but that's just me. So, anyway, let me get through these comments. I hope that's helped, Tanya, but give us a call if you get stuck. All right, girl? I really appreciate you reaching and watching as well. Sandy, do your narcissist usually know they are one? Well, yeah, I mentioned that before, Sandy. And thank you very much for your question. No, some do, some don't. The ones that don't sometimes think because no, I'm just like my dad, or I'm just like my mother, and they weren't narcissists, so why would I be? And some live in a world where that's all they've done. And they just think that they go through these relationships that don't work because they're, people didn't love them enough or they didn't show enough love. So the next person that comes on, they give them more love and they praise them more just to wind them in so they're even feel more in their bubble, more in their capture, more in their net for them not to get out. They'll up the stakes and do it again. Sometimes these are people you work with. You might be a single person and you work with someone and you think, I get along with this person great and everything. You start seeing them and things that, that's not good. My experience from what I've heard with clients, it doesn't end well. I say that, but I didn't think having a narcissist in your life ever ends well. Once you get out of it, and look, I will add this. There was someone I've spoken to recently who has got out from narcissist, and they had a narcissistic partner for quite a long time, and they had a parent that was a narcissist as well. So, and I don't think they mind me saying this, but I'm not going to mention names or anything and great detail, but it's like 2/3 of their life. People in their life, the people that they cared about and supposed to love for their 2/3 of their life were like this and treated them like this. And it affected all sorts of it affected their self-esteem. It affected their weight. It affected their personality. They were, not like self-hurting, like cutting, but they were doing things because they just wanted to feel ugly because they just didn't think they deserved to be that way. But they got out. And one of the most amazing things, and I nearly cried when I heard the story because this person is just incredible. If I could box or bottle whatever is inside them and give it to you guys to help you through it, I would, because they were able to use, and they have a bit of faith as well. They have something that they believe in, the universe, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, whatever it is. But they, and that even affected, where they were at the time, but they come out of it and they used whatever they could in their life to better themselves. And you see them now, and they're many, many years down the road from it. And I sit there and go, wow, I'm blown away that you are not, that you're who you are. You're an amazing person. You do, you have such a great heart and everything else, where I've seen other people that have spent even half their life, less than half of their life, with narcissistic people in their lives. And they've now got traits of it themselves and they're doing it themselves, and they know they're doing it. It's like they're self-sabotaging themselves because they have got to a point in their subconscious that they don't feel like they deserve to have proper love. They think, well, that's the way I was raised. But as I said before, you're an adult. If you take responsibility for your actions and realize, okay, I am. You know, an alcoholic doesn't go, well, I've been an alcoholic for 15 years, but I'm 40. So 25 years I wasn't 15. Nah, I've got no chance of beating it. Everyone has got a chance. Everyone. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not you need the right support and people around you. But hello, this is what this community is, what I'm trying to build right now is. We are here to support you. You just have to ask questions, text me, email me. You know, if you want to work with me, I'll do what I can to help you, sort of thing. But you've got to take the steps first to do it. You've got to at least, I think Tony Robbins says, you know, no idea is anything unless you take action. So if you think of it, you think, right, as soon as you put the first bit of action in, you're on your way. But if you sit there and do nothing, you've still made a choice. You make a choice to do something, or you make a choice not to do something. You've still made a choice. Oh, no, I haven't chosen it. No, you have. You've chosen not to do anything about it. But there are people I speak to every week that have made the choice. It wasn't easy, but they got through that. And they've learned it. They understand it, and they're making sure that they're not, you know, getting sucked into that again. You know, as soon as they see warning signs, you know, some of them have rung me recently and sort of said, oh, Jay, just want to check in for a moment, you know, just seeing someone for a couple of months and this has happened, and I'll ask a few questions and I'll go, there are a couple of little red flags, but just keep an eye. I don't think so. And it's hard because I'm not them and I can't see them, but it's better to ask the question. If you're asking the questions, you're at least being aware of it. You're at least taking some action to make sure that you don't get sucked into that again. Does it make sense? Hope it has. Thank you. Great question, Sandy. Let's not you. You're a doll. You really are. Yep, for me, with the bully. We're going to talk, Ted. We're going to talk. Seriously, I can't. You know, I know you, but you deserve better. You can't do that. You can't be put through that. I really, yeah. Kenny, as a would-be live streamer, parts of your list sounds like a job description. Yeah. Does it what? Does it? Maybe that, that top 10 I read on Sunday night. Oh, you guys would have known. I read a top 10, and it was a book called How to Be a Lousy Lover. Oop, there we go. And it's all these things on how to be a lousy lover. Well, you know, if you want to be a lousy lover, maybe be a narcissist. Mind you, some of the narcissists are very good lovers because that's all they've got to win people in. You know, they put the extra effort in and stuff like, because they just want to win you over any way they can. Because we all know if the sex is crap, you're not staying around, are we? Sex is not everything. But yeah, with someone, you might as well enjoy it, because if you're not enjoying it, well, just saying. All right. Oh my God. So yeah, Tan. Yeah, definitely. So many all in one. Yeah. Email me, girl. Contact me. All right. Lance, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Mr. Dr. Love. No, he's not a love doctor. It's just a little nickname I gave Lance a while ago. But great guy. Great photographers too. Kenny, question. When you have lost your temper and your partner won't talk to you, what should you do? Kenny, I'm going to have to write a few of these questions down. You're throwing some doozies in there, and we're going to stick to the narcissist thing. But I'm going to write these down, and I think we'll, how about we address them in another video? Because I don't want to keep these guys till 9, 10 o'clock. I don't want it to be a 2.5 hour show. Okay. But we're going to address. I've addressed one of them, but I'm going to write them down and we're going to talk about it. All right. But thank you for chucking those questions in. Thanks. Great answer. Thank you very much, buddy. Do narcissists prefer empathetic people? Do narcissists date other narcissists? Michelle, where have you come from? Because you've got some doozy questions. You're on Sunday night as well. I like your style, girl. I like your style. Yes, empathetic people, they do. And I may have already covered this, so if I'm going over it quickly, I'm sorry. I'm just going to briefly cover it. Empathetic people are people that, really, you doing okay? They show empathy for them and stuff like that. And as soon it's actually easier for a narcissist to find empathetic people because empathetic people show up to them and they're like, oh, okay. I could do this. And I have known narcissists dating narcissists. I have known of a couple long time. I was way before I was doing this and I didn't know. And years later, I bumped into someone who the couple had been together for a while and separated. And they had dated one member of the couple, found out they were a narcissist. It was one of the first times I ever heard of it. I went, what's a narcissist? And I looked it up. It was before I was coaching as such. And then I had bumped into the other one about a year later. And they were acting in a way and then said a few things. And I went, I went, oh, you dated blah, blah, blah for a while there, didn't you? And they went, how'd you know? And I went, oh, you bump into people, this is back home where I'm from. And they're like, yeah, why'd you ask that? And I went, oh, no, I remembered there was something, you were saying something. And then I remember, I went, oh, yeah. And just, when two and two come together. And I went, and I walked around and I went, oh, and the stories I heard from that, it was a very nasty relationship. And you know why? Because they're both trying to play the same game. And they're not getting what they want. And it gets quite nasty. And there was abuse involved. I'm not going to go into detail how much, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And that's where you got to be careful. But as I said, sometimes you stick two of them in a room together. Good luck with it. But that's what happens. It ends up being, that's only one time I've heard of it. I mean, they'd probably do a bit more research and find there's probably other people that have been like that. But could you imagine, this is what their traits are. This is what they do. And then there's another one trying to do the same thing. It'd be like putting two magnets together. They're like, it's crazy. It's just nuts. It would be. It'd be like, oh God, I wouldn't want to be their therapist. That's all I can say. Where are we? Joe, good question. Yes, it is. Michelle, thank you for your answer. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you very much. And thank you, Richard, come joining us on the Wednesday night as well. I appreciate it. So you'll notice this is a lot more organized than my Sunday night show. For those who weren't watching, Sunday night was the first one back. It was a little bit out of control. Music too loud and all sorts of things weren't working, but we've got it together tonight. So pretty much that covers it. Just check. I don't think I had anything else up that I wanted to discuss in part of this because we've just gone over an hour and I don't want to keep you guys because you're all, especially some of you have got up early in the morning to watch and I don't want to keep you guys up too much later. I'm just going through. There is also someone put me onto this gentleman today and I've looked him up on YouTube and listened to a couple of videos. And look, you can go to YouTube and there's a stack of videos about narcissists and narcissistic story. But this guy in particular, I was recommended, and his name is HG or HG, how you want to say it, the letter HG Tudor, Tudor. He's got a website called Knowing the Narcissist, and it's narc site, NARCSITE, so narc and site, so website narcsite.com. And he's got a stack, like huge amounts of narcissistic information, blogs, and if you even go and just Google HG Tutor on YouTube, you'll find he's got a very unusual voice. I think it's English, and they're unusual videos, but he does have some really great content, But like, it's happening so much, you could read heaps of it. But you want to be specific. Have a look at the titles. Have a look at, like, go to that psychology website, psychologytoday.com. Have a look through that, because then you're getting it from the horse's mouth. These guys on Psychology Today are all psychologists, and they write about their experiences because they've had so many experiences with clients and stuff like that. So it's really factual stuff that is, it's happening. It's not someone just, writing little bits. They're really talking, they're dealing with a lot of people that are in that situation, sort of thing. So it really does get like that. So Kenny, great work, Jay. Thank you very much, buddy. And thank you always for your support. You're a great supporter and have helped me the last couple of months. So I appreciate the butt kicking and our conversations as well. Lance, time to hit the road for work. Catch you later. And yes, I was Love Doctor back when AOL had hosted chat group. AOL chat rooms. Remember that? Oh my God. That was like back in MSN days, and you'd go down to the local internet cafe and open up a chat room. And it was like, I think of it now, I think that sounds really weird, getting into a little chat room. But it was the entrance to the internet. Hey, there you would have got some narcissists getting you wheeled in there, because back when you didn't have photos, it was just a chat room. It was just talking. So, yeah, and don't get me started on people chatting to you on the internet and trying to wheel you in, because, hey, that happens quite often as well. So, but that'll be another Ask Jay, because I do have a question someone sent through a little while ago about relationship scams. So we will be covering that over the next couple of weeks or month or two, things like that. But I just want to say a couple of things to wrap up first. One, thank you, because this, for all of you to jump on, and like Dr. Love is heading off to work right now because it's like 6 or 7 in the morning sort of thing for him. And again, I turn this off, but someone still keeps ringing. How are they ringing when I've got the internet stuff? I'll get to you. I know who it is. But what I will do is, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe and bell button for notifications when I come on. You don't have to watch everyone. You can watch a replay, but at least you know we've been on. And if you've got a question, by all means, I don't care if you think, it's a silly question, it's a little question, you're not going to cover it. Trust me, I will do my damnedest to cover it. Even if I get like 2 or 3 short questions that are not as detailed as this, I might chuck them in one episode, because if you've got that question, you are not the only one on the planet that has that question. There's a lot of people that are asking the same thing. Okay, so, and I can't do this show without your questions. I can't do this show without, the love and support that you guys give me. So thank you, Sandy. Thank you, darling. It's really, this is not possible without you guys. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here talking in a camera and babbling on and, keeping myself amused. But I know there are so many of people out there that really need to know that they're not the only one, and they need the support and love and care that they need to really, get through this. You're in a narcissistic relationship. You're going to struggle to get out of there. So you need the love and the care and the support that you need to really, get out of that. Understand it for starters, but then once you understand it, what do you do next? We've got to get you out of there. But it's not an easy thing. You can't just unveil it, because they realize that. So there's things you got to put into place. There's little things you got to do, and you've got to do it safely, because the number one thing overall is you guys need to be safe. Especially you women, especially women. And yes, some guys, because it doesn't matter it really doesn't matter of sex. If it's a narcissist, they will do what they can to keep you there. And they will question your thought process. And you know what they do? And I use this for another thing. I've used this in other examples, but I'm going to use it now just before we wrap up. Anyone know what that is? See that? Now, looks very, something we would use a lot, right? A lot of people will call that a doorstop. Other people would call it a wedge. This is the most destructive weapon in the world. No, not because I'm going to throw it at you and hit you in the head. It's because of one thing, what I like to call, it is the wedge of doubt. It's a doorstop, Michelle, yeah, but it's also a little wedge. It's another word for it. The wedge of doubt. You go, the wedge of doubt, what do you mean? This thing. And narcissists use this a lot. They won't call it this, but they use it a lot. They want to get you in a position where they want you to feel loved, cared, and safe. And then they're going to come along and they're going to go, tap, 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 tap. And you're going to go, oh, I feel usually confident about that, but I'm a little, something says there's something like, tap, tap, tap a little bit more. And they tap it in further and further to the point that you question everything. And it breaks down your self-esteem, puts you in a position where you don't think you deserve anyone else. And this person, I have done everything for you. I have looked after you when your family rejected you. Your friends don't talk to you. I have done that. How do they do that? Wedge of doubt. You're going to see this little guy quite often in a lot of my shows. So keep that in mind. Someone makes you doubt something, go and research it. Just for your own little knowledge, just to make you feel a little bit in control, a little bit where you are, sort of things. So, you know what you're doing. Yes, doorstop. Okay, so we're going to wrap up. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your comments and your support and your questions. Kenny, some great questions. Thank you very much. Thank you to all for joining in. To wrap up, Ask Jay, I'm bringing in a little friend of ours, and we're going to finish off on a little, how could you say? Well, this book is described a guide to life for those just starting out and for those already on their way, by our all-time children's author, Seussism, old Dr. Seuss. So I thought, I've looked through this book and I went, you know what? These are quite good. So I am just going to go through the book. I'm going to pick a random page and I'm going to wrap up with a little bit of Seussisms. This one's called Expand Your Horizons. I'll read this way so you can see me better. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. From I Can Read with My Eyes Shut. More things you learn. I hope tonight you've learned a lot. I hope it's been helpful. If you think this is helpful for anyone else, please share, tag them in it, send them a copy, YouTube, Facebook. By all means, share away. Because if I can help one person, my job here is done. If I can help many, it will make me so happy that I've been able to do that. Because that's what it's about. Sort of, I'm here to help each and every one of you guys and girls get through this, whatever it is we're getting through. And in a world the way it is right now, we need it more than ever, don't you think? Last one, profound poem. Thank you, Michelle. Dr. Seuss. I grew up on that and read a lot of the books. And when I found this book, someone bought it for me and they said, no, use it. And it's been sitting there and I've read it a few times and I went, you know what? I think we all need a little bit of Seussisms occasionally. Don't we? Don't you think? I think so. Anyway, thank you very much to you guys for joining. As you can see down below, if you want to send a question in, please send your question in to jasonmair.com or DM me via the JMC Facebook page. All the links are on my socials, so by all means, jump in and check it out. Apart from that, I don't think we've got... I think that wraps it up. My mouse doesn't want to work. We're going to kick it off with a little bit of music as we... No? Are we going out? There we go. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for guys tuning in. We'll be here same bat time, same bat channel next week. And also, if you're around Sunday night around the same time, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, I think it's Daylight Saving Time starting next week, or 8 p.m. Australian Standard Time, I'll be here with Simplified Relationships and back next Wednesday night, which I also will say, where is it? It's I've got it here. I had this set up. Here we go. There we go. I'm getting the hang of this, all right? We're going to get there, all right? So thank you very much. You've also got, where is it? We're going to get rid of that. No, where is it? No, doesn't matter. I had another banner there. Doesn't matter. Going. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much, as I said, as always, for each and every one of you being here. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay close, and don't be afraid to reach out to someone who may need to hear from you. Okay? Till next Sunday or next Wednesday. Ciao for now.